Hello, this is Thomas Kelly, and this is evaluation number 2 of my audience feedback. This time I was interviewing Gareth. Question 1. I asked him how did he think my documentary flowed. He said it flowed very well, it was fast paced. I then asked him to compare my documentary to another existing one and say if he could give me any feedback, so like good stuff and the improvements. The good points he gave was that the content was excellent, and then the interviews were interesting and they grabbed his attention. Any improvements I could make to it though were either the sound clarity or editing the transitions that separate the different scenes of my documentary. Question 3. I asked him what part of the documentary did he find the most memorable. He said the Basement Jaxx interview, definitely. That was the most memorable thing of the lot. Then I asked him if he remembered the intro and said not so much. It was good, but it paled in comparison to the Basement Jaxx interview. Question 4. I asked him what style of music did he think the documentary portrayed. He answered house music. He thought it was definitely related to house music. Question 5, I then asked him what was his impressions on watching the documentary without a voiceover. He said he didn't notice the lack of voiceover as the content was informative enough. As so, he does not think adding a voiceover would improve the documentary. Question 6. I asked him how professional did he think the graphics looked, considering they were done by our group, and he said they looked very good. He would rate them either a 7 or an 8. I thanked him for that. I asked him on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would it be that he would watch the full 30 minutes after watching this 5-minute sample. He gave it a 9 out of 10. I asked him why he gave it this score, and he said because the content was very interesting, and if he watched more, he would get more detail, which he enjoys. Then I asked him, in terms of content and pace, what would his expectations be if he watched the next 25 minutes. He said he would expect that the pace would slow down because it would be difficult to maintain the constant fast pace of the 5-minute sample. So, question 9 now. I asked him, what one improvement could we make to improve the documentary? He said the audio quality needs changing in especially particular sections like the Shaka interview. I then asked him what conventions did he feel the radio advert showed. He said it was entertaining and it flowed very well. And I said, do you think these conventions are comparable to professional radio adverts? He said, yes, definitely, as he watches radio adverts all the time. I then asked him, is my poster advert professional? He said, yes, and he thinks it was done by a professional. I also asked him, was it eye-catching? I said, yes, it really drew in. Question 12. The last question that I asked him was how much is his knowledge of house music improved by watching this documentary. He answered, in specific terms, with the individuals, he learnt a lot. However, he didn't really learn anything new, general information on house music. Thank you for taking your time watching the documentary. This is Thomas Carey, signing out.